Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Naru's Corner. And I'm really sorry that this video is coming out a week late, but I was really busy these past few days and right now it's still not optimal, but I should have time for some quick videos, so let's dive right into it, okay? This week we are gonna talk about skills and how you can create some cool effects of your own. They are very easy to use and most of what you'll need is already predefined in there, so it should be a really quick video. What I've created here is I've just taken some dummy targets and painted some of them red for enemies and green for your allies, and we are gonna label them quickly. Alright, so I have added two labels, enemies. You can see that all the red ones are enemies, all the green ones are teammates, and just for the purpose of displaying some damage that the dummies are taking, we are gonna place an event listener, interaction between two entities and any player with any entity. On damage, add script on damage, and we are gonna show text above entity, target entity, and text is gonna be the amount with what? Red, bright red. That should be cool. Time, we don't really need these things. We're gonna use large fonts just to make sure we see what's happening. Yeah, right. So this is just to give us feedback that we have actually damaged some of those. And yeah, right now we can start actually creating some skills. So what I've already placed is a skill game logic and a resource game logic. Resource is, as the name suggests, some resource like energy or mana that you can use that that the skills will use, the skills will use. You'll need enough resource to actually cast a spell, and it's just up to your imagination what it could be. And this time I'm actually going to use it, so I'm going to create a mana. It's going to have max value 200. It can be changed to scripts, the max value, because you might want to change the max value when you level up or anything. Show bar, yes, because you can create your own bar, but this time we're just going to use the default one. We're going to set it some cool icon like oh, this is nice. Nah, this is nice. Okay, an icon is going to be blue because we have mana. And the bar is obviously gonna be blue as well. Cool. Nice. So we have our first skill. Now you click edit skill, you get into this window where you can actually set up the visuals for it, and you can add the events that will trigger at certain time. So I thought the first skill we're gonna create might actually be what? Could be some lightning in around the player, and all the enemies might take damage. So we are gonna add some animation because you want to display to others that you are actually using some spell. And I think joy, even though it sounds weird. Oh yeah, see, you're just gonna gust and nice. So once you start doing that, you will need to find out how many enemies is around you, right? In certain circle around you. So we are going to use this shape hit, which will, once it's triggered, it will find out all the entities in the shape it hits around the player. So we are going to set this to a sphere, which is cool. Center offset, we don't really need that because we want to leave the center on the player. Radius, we're gonna say like what, 10? I have no idea if it's gonna be a lot, but hey, why not? So 10. We are gonna move it around what, half a second after the start. Yes. And that's actually all that we might need to do here. We are gonna just set up the entry cost of this mana resource we're gonna say what, 20. It's gonna cost, no, that's too pricey. I'm gonna say 10 mana, okay? And once you've set up the event in there, the shape hit actually will create an event in the visual scripting. As you can see here, it actually creates 2 because you can hit something or you can miss completely. So we are gonna just use the miss to output something into a console, like no target found, okay? No target found, okay. So we got that out of the way just to make sure that, you know, we know when we just hit nothing. And if we actually hit something, it will pass us this entities array, which will contain all the enemies that we've hit. And I just noticed that my camera is moving away from me. It just doesn't like me. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna come back. Nice. And stay. Good. So yeah, what we're gonna do now, we need to determine if those entities we hit are friends or foes, right? So how we're gonna find that is we are only interested in those who are enemies, right? So we are gonna loop through all of these entities that it hit. We're gonna rename this to what? Target. Each target, just so it's easy to understand. Yeah, okay. For each target in array entities, we are gonna ask through logic if it has a label, because we have labeled all the entities in the scene. So if the target is the entity has a label of enemy, we want to do the damaging part, because you know you don't want to hurt your friends. And you could actually create another if statement stating that if the friendly fire is on or off in your game, because if it's off you can just hit all of them, right? And that would be counterproductive because I mean it could be nice, and you would actually have to, you know, think about if you should use the spell or not. So it might be a nice feature for the game. So yeah, just know that you can add another check and create some global variable that says if the friendly fire is on or off, and you can actually create two states for this. So right now we're gonna pretend that it's always on. No, wait, off, right? Friendly fire is off. So we are not gonna hit our friends. And what we're gonna do is we are gonna play particle, because you wanna display some nice, it's not play, really? Particle. Oh no, this is so much. Play? I was really sure that we can find out on the play. Play. Oh no. Where are you? Play particle. Oh, I missed it. So we are gonna create a template. So play particle position. As position, we are obviously gonna get position of the target. Rotation, we don't really need to set rotation. And template, we need to create a template. So we are gonna create a particle template, and since we said this is gonna be lightning, we are gonna search for lightning strike, and the effect is quite big, so we're gonna set scale to something like 0.2. It should be enough, right? Yeah, that should be okay. So yeah, we're gonna bump up the simulation speed to like what, 1.9. Yeah, this looks, you know, more dynamic, I think. So back to editing script, we are gonna select this particle, and I might actually want to do that more times, because the lightning strike will always look kind of different, right? So I don't want to play just one at the position. I might want to play more of them. So I'm just gonna use a random from, let's say, 2 to 6, just so we give it a little more, you know, a little more variability. And yeah, once we play the particle, we actually want to damage the target, right? Because you don't want to just play the particle and not do anything. So damage instigator is gonna be the player that cast the spell, and target is gonna be the entity, and we're gonna damage them for what? Let's say 20 of energy damage. That's cool. I hope that's gonna work. Oh yeah, and actually this is it for our first spell. It's not hard at all. I think we're just gonna try them out in the end all together, you know. So let's just start creating a second one. We're gonna need a skill logic again. Oh, and we're gonna rename this. Of course, you need to set some icon and rename it to something. So do we have some like lightning bolt or something? I think there was some, and I'm sure I'm just missing it. Oh, there it is. So this is gonna be lightning strike. I'm not sure how to spell lightning. Oh yeah. Alright, so we renamed our skill and selected some icon for it. That's everything we need to set for this, I think. Yeah, so let's go for another one. And the other one we could use like a fireball, because fireballs are cool, and I think every game needs a fireball. What an icon we are gonna set it to some fiery thingy. Fire. We don't have fire. Should we have fire? Yes. Nice. So yes, and again we set up an entry cost to being the mana, and this time it's gonna cost just 5, so you can just spam it out. And now we're gonna edit skill. Again, we wanna add some animation, and this is upper body animation. It means you can run with this. It's not gonna, you know, affect your legs at all. If you use this one, this full body, and then you, I would suggest you to stop. This is missing. I think that yes, this is a movement restriction, and you should place this every time you use this full body, unless it's some special effect like flying or something, because you don't want the player to be moving when his feet are moving, right? So yes, we don't need that for this one though. So upper body, and as you can see, there is an aiming mode that turns on the, well, aiming mode, just so you can select in which direction the fireball should shoot. And then we're gonna use a projectile at the end of the aiming mode. Alright, somewhere around here, I think. Oh yeah, and how does it look? No, I don't like that. Invoke, maybe? Nope. Yeah, it looks terrible. Oh yeah, this looks actually nice. The spellcast. So we're gonna have the projectile shooting out, and for that you need some anti-template, because you need something to actually, you know, throw. So we are gonna need an entity template. I'm just gonna place it right next to it. And what we could be throwing is, let's see, some ball, like a snowball maybe. I think some small snowball could be alright, right? We're just gonna paint it to some fire-ish color, or just deep red one. Yeah, something between. Yeah, it's okay. It's good. We are gonna add a particle to it, because like this it just looked like a really odd ball. So we just gonna some stackable entities, and you know, these don't have the additional options for particles and stuff. You have to check the unique checkbox, and that makes sure that you can set these additional settings. So I've checked it, and there's a particle placed, and as you can see, there's already something, but it's too small. So I'm gonna look for a ball, fireball. Great. This is amazing when you can use something that's already set up. And we don't volume, we want absolute position, and we want to set this to roughly the center of the ball, right? Because yes, all right, this might be just a little too big. Oh wait, what did I do? All right. Yeah, sorry, I was really confused there. And then, never mind. So we have moved the particle to the center, and as you can see, the ball is very, very ugly with that. So let's just make it like, you know, more of the color of the flame, I guess. Yeah, it could be alright. Okay. So let's just use this. Let's just make a smaller particle, just a little bit over. Yeah. See, this is, I think that's nice. Okay, so we're gonna use this with the projectile, and as you can see, it's already set up that it has the origin in front of the player, which is 0.3 here, and y 1.3. What is bad is that you might actually have to, you know, position it more precisely, because the animation will not have the particle spawning ideally to the hand. So I would suggest, you know, trying it out and then moving it slightly to the side on x-axis, and probably lower on y-axis. But you know, for the purposes of this tutorial, I think it's perfectly okay that it's gonna spawn in the middle of his body. We don't want to use gravity, because why would fireball use gravity? And damage is gonna have like what, 20. We are gonna destroy the projectile hit, but I can already see a problem with this, since we've said that we only want to damage our foes and not our friends. Sorry about that. Because the projectile is always gonna damage, right? So what we might need in this case is say that damage is gonna be 0, and go into the scripting, and you can see that there is a projectile hit here, and we can do the same check we did in the first skill, where we just check that if has label the entity target has label enemy, we are gonna deal damage. Because you don't really have to deal any damage at all in the skill itself, and you can set up the additional things, you know, to visual scripting, and I think it's better because you have more control over, you know, what it's gonna do to someone. So instigator is gonna be player again, this entity is gonna be, and here we're gonna say it's gonna be what, 30 of fire damage, just so we're keeping with the skill nature, and that should be actually it. It's very easy, as you can see. I really want to do something with more of these, but I can't think of a use. Yeah, so what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna go back to the first lightning strike. I'm gonna go to edit skill, and we are gonna add some particle, as I said, because you know we want to make it more cool. So particle, we're gonna place it somewhere in the beginning, I guess, around here. We're gonna search for a lightning strike again. Oh, it's cool. Yeah, we're just gonna make it a little bit smaller so it's around the person. Could we maybe, if we do it like absolute position and we rotate it for 180 degrees, what would happen? Oh yes, nice. So this way it's gonna be coming up from our player and down on our enemies. Oh, it's gonna be cool. Okay, so that should hopefully work. And I'm gonna place another one roughly to the same spot with lightning strike again. Let's just do, you know, again, make it just more zazzy. Is that even a word? Absolute. We're gonna rotate it upwards, and yes, it's gonna be first and second one almost immediately. Okay, so that should work. We can actually make sure that we, in this case, restrict the movement, and it's for what? No running, no movement, and end time we're gonna put 1.5, no, 1.6. Yeah, so for the whole casting time, the player is not gonna be able to move because it doesn't really make that much sense that you would be moving during this. So yeah, you can, you know, do all sorts of stuff here. You can raycast even, and we might take a look at it, you know, next time, but for now let's just try it out. And one important thing to do, if you create skills like that, you always need to add them to the player's role, because they won't defaultly, you know, appear in the bar. Some people had problems with this, so you wanna create a role. You're gonna add the resource, which is mana, and you're gonna add the skills which you need or want to have. You know, one team could have the fireball and one could have the lightning. It wouldn't be a really fair fight, but you know, for now let's just pretend that it makes sense. Okay, so here we are. As you can see, where if we switch to the skills quick bar, you can see that I have two skills. On one there is lightning strike, on second there is a fireball. If I cast a fireball, you can see the charging animation, and boom, so I dealt some damage. If I target a friendly one, I dealt nothing because he is a friendly one. So if we cast the lightning, no targets found, you can see in the console. But if I go in the middle of these guys and I cast it again, you can see only the red ones took damage because we checked for friendly ones and enemy ones. Yeah, so you can see that mana is regenerating slowly. You can set all these things in the resource itself, and you can also create, like, you know, items, consumables that will replenish the mana. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that if we did more of the of the skills, it would just be the same thing all over again. If you are interested in some particular you know, effect, just let me know and I can create the tutorial for that particular one, but I really don't know what I should make now. I know I did a chain lightning, and it has a little more complicated script because you always need to find the next target after it hits the first one. So yeah, if you're interested in that, just let me know. I can probably, you know, scrub together some tutorial on that, and hopefully it will make sense. So yeah, just let me know, guys. Anyways, this will be all for today. So thanks for thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time. And this week we will take a look at skills, because I have no